we're Here we are.
Oh.
Yeah, live. What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
We got the Croissant Cast episode.
We're on 6.
The 6? We got episode 6.
Dylan's old man brain already forgot.
Dude, I thought we
He's
were
like,
7,
what?
bro.
6.
What year is it?
I'm not gonna lie. I actually thought this was 7. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I feel like we've done a good amount.
Let's see. So we started with Toy, then we did Rob, then we did Doc. Yeah, okay, and then Doza said it says 6. I really thought this was 7. I'm being so serious.
Yeah, sleep was number 4. Was before Doc.
Oh no, we had sleep. So this
is number 6.
Shit, whatever, dude. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't even gonna argue with y'all.
So, episode 6, Dylan is killing. We got one of my co-owners for Crescent Esports, Lumen or Lulu Meister or Lulu, whatever the fuck you go by nowadays. Since you changed and shit.
Yeah. With the tutu.
As always, I'm joined with my amazing co-host.
Yeah, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Sit messed up. What?
Come on now. Hey, come on now.
I gotta follow that up. I don't have my jersey on. I gotta go run to my room.
I'd be able to wear my jersey if Lumen didn't get the wrong size.
I mean, you can still wear
it.
Still fits you.
No, it doesn't.
You're just too swole, dude. Stop it. Stop growing.
So, without a guest tonight, we're pretty much just gonna do some hot takes, talk about everything going on in the FGC, the community, get into some mental health. That's a big part right now. Kind of just free flow things,
Yeah, today's a little less planned out. So if y'all would like to join the discussion or ask us questions or anything, feel free as well.
If you have an opinion you want to state it.
Hot take number 1.
That?
Toaster strudels are better than Pop-Tarts. What's up?
That's a fact.
My.
Have you ever had the breakfast? Have you ever had the toaster strudels that have the fucking
scrambles,
egg and cheese in it? The scramblers.
I have toaster scrambles and strudels in my freezer all day or day. If I ever want one, I can go fucking grab one. Always.
But can you just grab a toaster strudel and then just grab it out of the fridge? You can't. You gotta toast that. Like you can't.
Yeah,
you can grab a Pop-Tart and be on your way. So I think Pop-Tarts are because it's inherently superior.
You're supposed to toast a Pop-Tart.
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to, yeah, but nobody does.
Toaster strudels are frozen.
Oh, my bad.
You toaster strudel without toasting it? Don't be scared.
You gotta wait a whole minute for your toaster strudel. That tastes way better.
Oh.
And you get the icing with it.
There's that creativity factor too, where you can like make the design with your icing.
Yeah, dude.
Come on, fam.
So I mean,
and we're talking about icing, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about icing, right?
What's your?
You get done getting you get your toaster strudel prepared, right? And then you put the icing on there, and it melts into it, and it's just looking real fucking good. Then you pull a Pop-Tart out, and then you're like, "Why the fuck is only 45% of this iced? What is this?" Come on, bro.
Not only that, I feel like
the edges.
Most people that like Pop-Tarts over toaster strudels probably eat the unfrosted ones.
Oh,
unfrosted.
Oh,
yeah.
I have known people. I think they're like, here, you can have an extra icing packet for whenever you like eat one. Because I'm just gonna.
My roommate eats one
of like hard ass fucking sugar.
Yeah.
It's not creamy and delicious when you bite into it, bro. And I like s'mores Pop-Tarts. Don't get it twisted, but it's not fucking with a nice, fresh strawberry cream
toaster strudel. Warm.
Yeah, dude.
You know what you're talking about.
But have you guys actually had a legitimate strudel?
I've had real strudels.
Actual strudel? Yes.
I don't think.
I mean, a toaster strudel has nothing on that, but we're talking about frozen bullshit. That's just saying you're catchy. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying. Pop Tart stops at one level. That's it. You can't do anything extra to it.
True.
Fucking Pop
Hey,
Tart.
you know what? You're on my team, so I rock with your statement.
Your Honor, I rest this case.
No, Pop Tarts are for kids. Don't tell me that shit, Nando.
Toaster strudels are for children. I mean, yeah, you get to have your art class with the icing, but like,
Let me ask you a question. Can you draw anime
That's too
titties
good, man.
on a fucking Pop Tart with icing?
can you?
No.
Are you?
I mean, you can do it on both technically if
What?
you're really like. You can do it. That goes both ways.
I don't know
you
how to
really
respond to that.
Pop-Tarts is
You
in,
know-
like,
You understand where I was going?
I don't know who's that talented with the icing to do whole designs
Me?
like pictures.
This guy, hello, hi.
I spent a lot of time with icing.
Send us your pictures of toaster strudel art.
I'll go buy a box
I was
I was
tomorrow.
about to say something.
What were you gonna say about my icing,
Uh-oh.
Curtis? What were you gonna say about the icing, huh?
Oh,
sugary goodness?
I can't do it. It's too
It's
crazy.
sweet.
Man. The glaze I'm talking about is not sugary.
Oh no! Where's
Oh
Sleep
my
at?
God.
Sleep, come get your boy.
Yeah, where's Sleep?
Sleep, come get your boy.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I guess okay. So I think I'm the only one on the Pop-Tart side. I think everybody else is, but I just
Pop-Tarts
think
are only
Uncultured
good for a
swine.
sugary snack. That's not breakfast.
I give it the Pop-Tart just because I'm lazy and I'm also frequently late for things, so I can just grab one and eat it on the go.
Convenience
And
factor.
wild berry looks.
I'll give you a 9 on the convenience factor. On flavor factor, I'm giving you a hot 3.
All right, hold up. You'd pay money for Nanda? All right. So, how much are we
Not
putting on
anything.
this? Because
My
it
dad would do
will
like a
hit
sick, like
Chatmain.
spider web sometimes. Like, oh man.
It will hit Chatmain tomorrow if you're really about this.
Oh boy. We're gonna have
Anyway,
a
man,
strudel.
how y'all been today, man? We over here going crazy
Yeah,
with this strudel shit.
we 10
Yeah.
minutes in on
What
the
y'all boys
strudel.
got into today, man?
Dude.
I went and got curry popcorn chicken and Taiwanese sausage and matcha milk tea.
That first
I
thing
want all of
sounded
that.
fire.
How do I get
Are you
that?
going all
To
around
me?
Southeast Asia there?
How do you get that? Do you want to come meet up tomorrow and we can go?
Yeah. Are you going
It's
to?
it's right by Lakeside.
Oh,
Where
okay.
is
It's
it?
better.
Popcorn chicken?
It's a
What
new
kind of
place, not the
shit
one.
is
It's not
this?
one of the ones we've taken you to already.
Wait, Curtis, do you know what popcorn chicken is?
I know what popcorn chicken is, but I've never had curry popcorn chicken.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
sounds.
know. He seemed very confused by it. That's fine.
It was
Damn,
actually
that sounds
godlike.
crazy.
That sounds fire.
It was
I want it.
godlike. No, we'll go
I
tomorrow.
want that. I want that.
Tomorrow, come meet up. We're gonna go do all that. Dylan watched me and Willie's girlfriend have
Yeah, it was funny that
high-level
we're talking about
Pop-Tart
Pop-Tarts
theory
because we
crap.
literally just had a discussion on like what's the best flavor and stuff
Look.
like an hour ago. Literally not even.
You
an hour
think
ago.
Willie gives a fuck about what flavor Pop Tart he's eating? No, Willie's just eating the fucking Pop Tart.
Just because.
It wasn't.
He eat it with
it was not in
wrapper
general,
on.
but damn.
How has with everything going on, how's like, you guys we haven't been able to go too much outside because of COVID, but how much has it been affecting you guys like personally?
I'm gonna skip that and let
Is that a
Curtis and DJ answer.
I'm very lucky. Yeah, I see.
Is that a 9? Is that a 10? So
That's
I
a
consider
that's me
myself really
pointing
lucky
at the
'cause
zero.
No one in my immediate family has gotten it that I'm aware of.
Oh, I thought you meant how has it affected us like mentally?
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought you were
Maybe
saying.
that.
Like being
Okay.
in the house. Like, how do you feel? You know what I mean? Being locked down.
Is 0 the lowest and 10 the highest?
I kind of miss being locked down.
0's
Like
the
I've been
lowest.
going to work for like a month and a half now, and like
Yeah, I've actually
Now
been
the
like
cases
going
are-
to work again.
yeah, and I kind of miss like those days. I mean, at the time they were kind of starting to get a little bit like obviously like monotonous, and like that I just didn't know what to do with all my time. But now I kind of look back at it as like, dang, I didn't know how good I had it for a second because it just
That's
it allowed me to have all the free time to dedicate to like things I wanted to get done. But
See,
even
but
though,
like when I was
then
at home,
even
I
then
didn't
though,
have that option.
what'd you say?
I didn't have that option when I was home though. Like
Oh yeah.
my work
Why?
when I was working from home was more strict than anything.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
randomly have to like turn my webcam on. I'd have to make sure that I was we're all in the same Google Doc. So like if you even go 10 minutes without somebody like seeing that you're not moving in the doc, you're getting pinged like, are you not working? Do you need to clock out? So like I didn't even when I was home,
Sucks.
I didn't have any kind of like freedom in that.
Well,
I have more
no.
freedom now.
Freedoms as in the free time, like just having that time to yourself and being in your house, not your freedom of your job. When I'm sitting in my job too, they on my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to know that I'm logged in. My screen can't go dark, even though I have stints where I don't have to really be doing nothing. My screen can't go dark. All this shit right there, people pinging me always on my ass. That's my work shift. That if I was at the office, I'm gonna be working. If I'm at home, I'm gonna be working. But outside of that, I have ample free time and freedom. I think that's more so what he was saying. During your shift, you're still working.
I would
See,
say
I
like
I feel like because of my hours, I didn't really have that either. Like it was like but as soon as I woke up, I took that one step forward to sit in front of the computer, and like I was there until like 7:30. So like from 9:30 to
Mm-hmm.
7:30. So after that, like do I have the energy to go to the gym? And then by the time that's over, it's 9 o'clock at night, and it like I feel like I have more free time in a sense now that I'm actually going to and clocking in a job again. But like I understand what DJ's saying also. It was nice just to always be home. I
Yeah.
just wish even if I would have been working from home, my schedule would have been like 8 to 4. It would have been, absolutely like perfect.
Yeah, if I had to
But it
work
was
from
just
home,
it
I
was my
feel like
hours.
it would have been weird for me to like separate my home time from like being at work, but still being here. Like that's
I
a whole
mean,
different
that
thing.
was an issue, but like I've worked from home before. When me and Brian worked for Dream League, like we would work from home, but we made our own schedule. So like, also we weren't going through a pandemic in the process.
yeah.
So if I woke up, if I slept until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it didn't matter. I could start my day right there. And if I started my day at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I decided I felt like going to the gym at 3, I was able to do that. Like if I took a shit for too long and got pinged, it's like clock out of work. You're not working.
That's insane.
That's pretty
I
wild.
would
Yeah.
say so mine turned into like I had nothing. The time was just there. I think for like a month or two, I didn't really know what to do, and there was definitely a like lull, like a depression hitting me because of it. Because I was like, "Fuck, do I do with all this time?" Arguably, it'd be like, "Well, why don't you do stuff with Crescent and do a bunch of other stuff?" And we were doing that, but it was like there was no normal routine that I was following anymore. So it just really fucked with me. And like you were saying, DJ, that looking back on it, I'm like, fuck, dude, I had so much fucking time. I didn't know what the fuck to do with it.
Yeah.
So that
It's
was
like you have
like,
so
yeah,
much time,
'cause
you end up like not using your time wisely because you're just like I
well,
don't
yeah, I
have
mean, at the
boundaries to
beginning of
tell me to
all
do things
this,
at certain times.
I agree with that.
I
Yeah.
couldn't
Yeah.
go
The
to
beginning
I couldn't
was
go to the gym if I
tough to
wanted
use the
to when
time
it
wisely.
started
Yeah.
because
yeah,
you felt like you had nothing to do. Like when it first started, like I couldn't even go to the store. The
yeah,
gyms were closed. I remember the first week of quarantine, like I live right across the street from a big park, and they have like an outdoor gym and like the big track around it. So I was like, all right, I was using that and running laps, and about like that lasted like a whole entire week, and they were like, oh, we're locking this down too. This is a cesspool for germs, and I was like, well, fuck, dude, like, what do I do? It got to the point where like walking to the gas station to get unhealthy ass snacks was like a luxury just to get out and about.
So let me ask: are y'all, as a collective, are y'all all busybodies? Like y'all gotta be not at your
Oh
house? Like,
yeah,
That is not
yeah.
man.
What about
I
you, Luke?
definitely have to be moving.
at the moment, I mean, I'm at my house most of the time. The only thing I need to do for me is I need to just do some sort of exercise or workout. So I've had to switch. That's what keeps me busy. So I'm not particularly a busybody because if I have, I've found out within myself, and this is because of COVID,
Mm-hmm.
that all the time I was given, I had to figure out how to balance something I had to do to like push myself mentally and push myself physically, and then also have time where I was just like, I don't care.
Okay.
So I'd say before I was a busybody because I was working like every single day 12 hours a day, and I was just like, this is too much. I can't do this. So I went from working every single day to springboarding to the other side where there's nothing.
Thanks for the follow,
Okay.
Video Meister.
It was just
I think
like,
I said that
What
right.
was you saying,
Gosh.
DJ? What about yourself?
Myself, I definitely like I love the amount of like time that's had to be like isolated here. Like that doesn't bother me. Like I'm the type that's like, oh okay, you're just telling me to do something that I won't really have too much of an issue with. I mean, obviously, like I don't always want to be at home ever, like all the time, but it wasn't really too much of a pressing issue for me, like to just be at my house trying to figure out something. Really, all it did was like I just ended up going down different rabbit holes for like like different games and stuff. Like I ended up playing a ton of Tekken. I started playing Runeterra, like the League card game. I've never gotten into like a card game before. Just climbing ranked ladder in that, and I just kind of just like try to distract myself for a long time, as much as I could at least. Like
Honestly,
it's kind of like weird looking back at it now.
I feel like the
But,
thing that was getting to me the worst at first was like how like you, me, and Alex used to typically always take like one day a week to go meet up and eat,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
that's
we
what I
went
miss
like
for sure.
we went from seeing each other at least once a week and sitting down to talk to not doing it for like not seeing each other for 3 months, and then like also since I live right off of Vets, like at the beginning, I think like your surrounding area is what really got me, because like living right off of Vets, like I look out my window and I see Veterans Boulevard, so yeah, my cat doesn't give a shit, both of them, but I'll look out the window, and at the beginning of the quarantine, like Veterans Boulevard was fucking dead for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like instead of seeing traffic and people honking the horns, you were seeing like 3 cars pass an hour. So just like, and I remember when the quarantine first hit, I re-downloaded Fallout 4 and I was playing Fallout 4. And I was like, holy shit, like even looking out my window, I feel like the world is like dead right now. So like the surrounding area kind of played into that as well, like the atmosphere.
it was super surreal. It felt like
Yeah.
it was a apocalypse for a moment.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I can see that.
It's just like there's just like nothing going on. I don't have any like thing to actually propel me towards anything. I'm just here in a vacuum doing whatever.
It's a
There's, like,
massive
some moments where,
like
like-
lack of motivation.
Yeah, it's starting to get so monotonous. Like I don't know, like I was at like a maximum like degenerate sleep schedule, or I'm just like hanging out on Discord with friends, and I'm like, oh, it's like 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm just like, what do we do now? Like,
I would. So here's
like-
kind of my hot take on something like this, and I'm not saying to clarify because I've been trying to figure out how to word this.
What you got?
The fact that I was forced to stay inside and kind of just be alone made me a better person, and I would say that might be for the same for similar people, not COVID. Just the result, just the factor of we were all forced to kind of stay alone, and that is, I had to stick with my own thoughts and actually figure out how I am as a person, and then be like, oh, there's a lot I need to work on, and then do it. So that was the initial, like, looking back on it in hindsight, that was the initial like depression and lull that was hitting me. Of like, oh shit, like there's a lot of stuff that like there's a lot of emotional things that I wasn't dealing with, and like just time management and just a lot of stuff that I needed to mature in. So I'm kind of just allowing for having that time, those 2-3 weeks where it was like super lockdown. I'm glad that those were there for myself, and I'm wondering if like you guys had something similar happen to you
No,
guys.
I'm the
or even-
complete opposite. I mean, my depression's been on the same terrible rate for like years now. So the biggest way that helps me get through it is like when me and Alex and DJ meet up and we go eat and go bullshit and stuff like that. So like literally at that point in time at the beginning of quarantine, like feeling like I was actually locked in my house like it was a jail. All it did was make my like triple my depression, and I was to the point where I didn't want to get out of bed. Like I wasn't saying much on a day-to-day basis. I was more miserable than I've been in a while.
And I feel like that's what's really, well, I won't say that's really, I feel like that is a big factor as to a lot of what's going on with social media now, like what's happening, what we're seeing in the scenes, what we're seeing, like everything coming out, is a lot of people are speaking out because they were forced to kind of live with those thoughts, those feelings. Like they had to be, there was nothing there for them to talk about, so they had to share.
There's less to distract you. You can't go to the bar. You can't go to eat. You can't get away from yourself.
Lost in
exactly what you're saying.
Exactly. Flow of things anymore.
Yeah,
and even the fact of people don't have like. So even after you have those activities where you're getting to leave your house and do all this shit, you do all this meaningless bullshit, and you go around and you fill your time with other people. Then they were able to come home and have these new adventures to be like, this is what I did. Oh shit, look at me. Mm-hmm. And then they're filling the rest of their time with social media before they go to bed. Now you don't have any of that. Now it's you. It's you, and you are seeing that come out. I've seen a lot of people say some crazy shit on social media recently, because it's more of themselves coming out as than their environment coming out on the app, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. There was a couple of people I know, interestingly enough, had, like, there's a need, like they had this weird need to publicly, or like there wasn't a need, but there was a thought to like publicly confess something. Like something that they had internal, like sometimes it wasn't even that big of a deal. Sometimes it may have been something more severe, but to the people that I knew, it wasn't a huge thing. It was just something that they had like a thought about, and they were like, like that thought bothered me, and should I post it on social media? And I'm like, what? To me, that was interesting, because like, why did the thought of publicly confessing that internal monologue even happen? And that to me is
exactly
I feel like that's the result of like we've been living on our own, or not our own, so we've been kind of living in our own heads because of the pandemic, because of forced isolation.
I feel like that's sad that people don't do that anyway. I completely agree with you. I feel like it's sad that people don't do that anyway. I was watching somebody stream the other day. Oh, excuse me. So let's put this in perspective real quick. When we get done with these, or any night in general, I always sit to myself without using something or even reading. I don't do anything. I try to just, I kind of just sit to myself, drink some water, and hang out for like 30 minutes to an hour with myself, right? Mm-hmm. And not on some I'm amazing, some shit like that. It's just calming for me, right?
Or it's just flex.
But but no, it's just calming for me, and I think it's healthy to be with me. I am me, right? I gotta love me. If I don't even know me, how the fuck I love me, right? So I was in somebody's stream. This is like 4 days ago. I was in somebody's stream, and this chat was talking about it's weird sitting to yourself. And I said that in the chat that I do that before I go to bed, sit to myself. And the streamer looks at the chat and he was like, "You sit to yourself for 30 minutes to an hour without doing anything?" And he goes, "What a fucking waste of time." And the chat starts cracking up, and I was like, wow. You guys really don't like yourself. You guys really don't like yourself.
Yes, yeah, that's the
you don't need distractions at all points in time.
Jeez. So you do that now. How long have you actually been doing that?
I've been doing that for a long time. Okay. I've been doing that for a long time, and it was an accidental thing. It was really literally no meaning behind it. I just couldn't sleep after getting done doing things. So I started doing it initially to just calm down. Because if I'm playing a game, I will never go to sleep. I can play that shit, and I'll be like, I'll just play until I'm tired. I'll never get tired, Yeah. Or if I'm watching movies, I'll never get tired. So I had to do that. I mean, I've been doing that since I was like 18, 19, right? Like, just because I had to. And over time, I realized that it's really helpful to me, because I thought being to yourself was something people did. You know what I mean? I was just doing that for me.
Yeah.
now that I see people saying that they don't do that. Nobody's to themselves. It's always the apps. People are going insane because they can't hang out with people at the bar. We're in the era of connection. You can literally pick up your phone, get on Discord, get on Skype. I mean, I'm old. I said Skype, whatever. Zoom, whatever you want.
AIM.
You know what I mean? but you can get on whatever you want. We're in the era of connection, and you can make those connections with people. But people are so afraid to be within themselves that they're freaking out that they can't go to bars. So then we have to reopen businesses, and that's a money thing too. I'm not going to go there, but they have to reopen businesses, and now people go back out, and then they get sick, and they come home, and they're like, "Well, why is this happening? Because your dumbass cannot be to yourself. It's not that difficult."
I would add to that
that
is like one that's really impressive because that's meditation. That's what it is. Like you don't have to. That's what meditation is. You don't have to like do some sort of thing specific, but you're just there with yourself. That's it. Mm-hmm. And I would add to what you're saying that looking at social media, to me, it's evident that majority of people don't have that because they don't know how to deal with their own emotions. The past, whatever they're currently dealing with, but most of all, like my biggest thing is that they just don't know how to deal with the emotions. There's so much like anger and sadness going on Twitter right now.
People,
it's a lot to unravel, and so many people just going strictly for like mental health is that we don't like. Okay, so because this is something like I've recently been kind of looking into because this is something that's like I had an internal growth about that I've started figuring out after looking more into psychology and kind of and studying it more. So there are really like four main emotions. There's anger, sadness, happy, and fear. Everything else is pretty much a mixture of those. Frustration, anxiety, those are all, umbrellas of everything in between. As kids,
I like it.
we were like, I'm happy. Why? Because I got ice cream. Well, I'm mad now. Why? Because it's not chocolate. Like as kids, we just said, I'm happy and I'm mad, I'm sad. Like we didn't care what it was for. We just did it.
Just took extremes.
Right.
The extreme levels of the emotion instead of the levels between.
Right. But as kids, it wasn't like this filtered thing. We just did it. We just felt it and we just expressed it.
Yeah.
As adults, we stopped. We don't do it. We say, "Oh no, I'm not mad." Like, how many times have we all fucked around on the internet and during mid game? Someone's like, "You mad, bro?"
I'm always mad, bro.
I'm always mad.
But delay netcode, I'm pissed.
Right, and whenever, and I've there's been times where I've been like, "No, I'm not mad," but I was frustrated. So yeah, I was mad.
Yeah.
But I just didn't admit it because I didn't want to for whatever reason. We need to I want to say that we need to acknowledge and admit those feelings and just acknowledge that they're there to start the process of like actually processing them and doing something like what you do, Curtis, of like spending that time to just sit with yourself. It's fucking uncomfortable at first because you're just like, I gotta check my phone, gotta check and you're just like doing all these things, but like as you using you, Curtis, you do it now, you're just like, fuck it. It's super easy for you.
Yeah,
we would be better people without the internet.
Obviously, guaranteed.
We would be.
That's tough to say.
In an maybe in an emotionally better place.
Yeah, I'll say that much.
Might be.
Maybe.
Social media opens up a lot of doors, though.
That's why I say maybe.
So, all right, check me out. I don't want to go too long on this one. I want to get what Dylan was going to get at on that. But so, I think, okay, you know what? Last week I said this to you guys. I myself think that humans are inherently evil. If you want to use the term evil, then you can ride with me on that. If you think it's something else and you want a different definition, you make your own. I think that we're inherently evil. You look back, it's always been wars and just killing. Like that's just what people did. Take over. There's not a period of time where you can look at it and say, you know what, humans are all right. You can't do that. There's nowhere, right? But so anyway, with that being said, I guess I couldn't say that we would be better people, but I think we would be more human because back then we were more animal, which we are. We are animals. We are an evolved version of animal. People will look at us like we're separated from the dog. We think and we do different things than the dog, but we are all human. Anyway, so jump away from that. We would be more like ourselves if we didn't have the internet, and we'd be more human. Structured society is making us less of that, and then you add the internet to structured society, and then that's making us. I could talk to somebody on the internet every single day and never know who they actually are. There is something that we can hide behind that we have never had in the history of humanity, and I don't think that's good for us. So that's what I would say. I don't know if we would be better because the term "better" as humans is very, very broad, but we would definitely be different. Let's just use that.
Yeah, that's facts. Because like you said, how you truly know somebody, and like I mean, I've seen that happen. People talk every day on social media and never met each other in person and think that they're friends for years. And they truly don't know anything about how this person actually is. Because, and like,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the case where somebody's met the person and was like, wow, you're actually a terrible fucking person. But you don't let all that
Mm-hmm.
information out on the internet. So for me, I guess it's not necessarily if we would be better without without internet, but more so social media. Because like, social media, you people build. I find it weird. I'm gonna straight up personally say that I don't care how long I've talked to people on the internet. Year, 2 years go by, we've never met each other in person. I'm I'm sorry. I'm not considering you to be one of my fucking best friends. I personally find that very strange when people say that because you're considering to be really close friends with somebody that you honestly have no fucking idea if you know anything about who they really are. But
Yeah,
I
you
feel
have
like
to meet
another
them.
thing is I've seen another well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I get cringed out when people are like, "Oh, we've never met each other, but we've been talking every day on the internet for 2 years. It's one of my best friends." That's fucking weird. That's what that is. But so like, and obviously, like, even if you meet somebody in events and like hang out with them at one event, you've got to you in that one encounter, you've gotten to know them more than you have through the 2 years on social media. But also
Yeah.
the fact of I mean, I think this was like 2 years ago, but I had read a study of like how majority of breakups and relationships are due to social media because of the doors that it opens and how easily accessible it makes things. And not even that though. Like, if you want to find out, like, I feel like a good way to find out some about somebody's social media is if you ever actually look at somebody's social media platform, their likes and stuff like that. You can learn a lot about somebody just off of that. And
Or their
sometimes you'll be
That's
trash.
good.
surprised.
That's good. That's
And
very true.
you'll
That's
find out
very true.
if you really want to know something about a person, go to their and I'm not talking about like obviously like on a friendship level, but go to their like Twitter and go to their tweets and replies and go to their likes, and I promise you, you will actually be amazed on some people and what you find out. And like obviously it's not always a good thing. Like I feel like sometimes people forget like, yo, everybody can see this very easily
It's
Oh
because
just
yeah, 100%.
traceable.
It's a
like
fishbowl.
yeah. I personally, I think social media was like one of the worst things that ever happened to us.
I would
It's garbage.
here to kind of connect what both like what we've been going over in these two topics. The internet created a realm of of doors that can just open at anyone's whim. You can go anywhere, you can search anything, you can find anything. As individuals, as humans, we instinctually know how to connect and we instinctually want to connect with people. We're just social animals who
Mm-hmm.
want to do that. We know how to do that on a personal level. We know how to do that visually, verbally, and by like the senses that we all have. On social media, we want to use those same tactics, but we can't because it's not the same. You can't see what someone's doing when they're typing it. You can't feel someone's text through whatever they're saying. I mean, just look at all the apologies that have been thrown out on social media. It doesn't matter it doesn't really almost matter how well something's written. Someone's going to be there and be like, "Yeah, not enough." And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like in the specific situation we're in the esports world right now, I feel like one of the biggest reasons a lot of these apologies are being looked at like that is because it's like, would you be sorry for what you did if you wouldn't have been exposed? If you wouldn't have heat on you right now, would you still be sorry?
Yeah, if you didn't get caught.
But I
And
feel
some
like
people,
That's a
I
classic.
feel like some people actually are. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying
Yeah.
everybody doesn't. I genuinely believe some people are truly sorry for what they did before they even threw out the apology on Twitter. But there is definitely a decent handful size of people on there that you know are only making these apologies to try to like not get canceled.
So I have a
trying to save face.
question. Yeah, I have a question with this. And chat, I wanted you guys to get in on this too. Social media. So there's public apologies. Normally, or at least from what I'm used to, you apologize to the individuals directly. So if I, hurt you guys in any way, I go, "Hey DJ, I'm sorry. Hey Dylan, I'm sorry. Hey Curtis, I'm sorry." I don't go, "Hey Twitter, I'm sorry for what I did," and like it's a public apology. Who am I like?
Who is
Do
it actually
you,
aimed at
Right.
exactly?
Here's
do
my
you
big problem
think?
with that
Go
is
ahead. That's what I
social
wanted to know.
media gave everybody a voice in situations where their voice shouldn't even be in there. So, like for example, say somebody is apologizing for what they did, and they're say they apologize to the specific person, but they also put out like the PSA about it, so everybody saw it. Even if the person that you did wrong to, and like you apologize to them, and they accept your apology and they forgive you. If you go click on the feed, you're just going to see people being like, we don't want this apology. Well, for one, the apology isn't fucking for you, to be completely honest. For two, if you're telling me you don't accept apology, but the person I'm apologizing to accepts an apology, then I don't give a fuck about your opinion if you do or not. Because I've seen cases to where like the person was like, I accept their apology, I understand, and like 20, 30 people be like, I don't, fuck that. It doesn't involve you. What is it? Who cares? But it just opens that door to where you can just go voice that opinion and pretend that your opinion matters.
Yeah.
People that should not have a voice have a voice. It is ridiculous.
It's just overwhelming. Oh, I think just going back to social media, I guess like in general is that it's obviously positive that so many people get voices and so many different people that wouldn't be able to share their experiences can share. But I think people just the fact that we know that there's a human behind all of these accounts, and if they say something outrageous or something that we just it's just like as a human that we try to take like each comment seriously, and it can be overwhelming. I think social media definitely, like in terms of like empathy and just the fact that we use it so much, is that it tires us out completely, because we try to like empathize with everything. We try to like understand like what exactly made this person say this in this situation, and then it just ends up just like frazzling us entirely because we don't have enough energy to really like.
Now, to Dylan, Dylan, I agree, because I agree with what you said. Now, what about like people who are? I won't say people who consider them public figures, because I feel like a lot of celebrities don't. They're not like, I'm a public figure. I don't know if they ever like actually say that to claim that.
Yeah.
But we put them up. But like as people, as fans, we kind of put them on this pedestal. So do you think when whether they wrong someone directly or they wrong someone, do you think they do owe an apology to their fans?
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
I strongly don't.
I think that's one of the stupidest concepts, period. Oh, go ahead. My bad. I don't want to cut you off.
Well, to DJ's point, this is where it goes back to what you said. People are fucking pathetic. Like some people, a lot of people really are just fucking terrible people. Because like, look at some of the threats and stuff people throw out on Twitter. Man, I guarantee you, half the people that say this fucked up shit on Twitter, they're not going to say it to you in IRL. I've seen some people that have said some shit on Twitter, and I was like, if you were telling me that on Twitter, I promise you, in person, you would not come in my face and tell me that. And but also it's showing how much more cowards people are, because a lot of these toxic comments from that are coming from accounts with 3 followers. So they're burner accounts because the real person who feels that way is too much of a coward, even on social media, to let it be known that came out of their mouth. So, but for like the public figure thing, like I don't believe in that concept that you owe your fans an apology. You owe an apology to who you wronged. At the end of the day, if they don't want to be your fan, don't be it. Like if they truly, if they're truly a true fan of yours, then even they can acknowledge, okay, you fucked up. But like, and they see that you make the apology, and then they can choose from there if they respect you enough to say, okay, I'm still going to be the fan. I saw that they apologized. But as a fan, to expect that person to apologize to you for something they did to somebody else, I don't know. You apologies go to who it was meant for. You don't fucking apologize to the world for that shit. I mean, except in certain cases, like now these sexual assault cases, that's different. I feel like, because at that point you need to apologize to humanity that you're that fucking garbage. That you're taking up the fucking air.
But okay, now let's get this clear first before I say this. Yes, the piece of shit. But how much does it really? Why do they need to? Because how much does it really fucking matter that they
don't need to?
I'm so sorry, and this is the reasoning, and that. What the fuck does that do?
I get it, but well, I'm not gonna. I don't mean it as like they're obligated to do so, but like if because you're seeing some of these people who did this shit who are disappearing. Like Nairo, when that shit came out about Nairo, he deleted his fucking before he even said anything. His Twitter was gone. He deleted his Twitter and just fucking disappeared into thin air. Does he need to apologize to the public? No, because he's fucking dipsetting on out of here. But like, say Nairo still wanted to make an attempt to stay in the scene, then yeah, he might want to try to apologize to everybody so people don't want to fucking burn him at the stake. So for us specifically, like in scenes, like when you do something that fucked up and you plan on trying to, by some chance, save your spot in the area, then that's the only reason I say it's a little different. But like, if you're just gonna fucking be like, oh God, I fucked up, I might go to jail, I did some really fucked up shit, it might be in your best interest to just delete everything, not apologize to anybody, and get the fuck and never show face again.
Yeah.
I would say if it's anybody that is involved with a sexual assault case and they did it, they should guarantee just get the fuck on, because their apology is not going to do shit. Yeah. Even if they do apologize, we shouldn't just be like, you know what? Come on, come on. We'll see you at the next event.
Like some dedicated fans, that's not true. But like, this isn't me shit talking low tier God, but look at some of the absolutely fucked up things he's done. His real fans, at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck, bro. They don't care what he does, and they're gonna be like, "We accept your apology, low tier God. Thank you." Like his fans are gonna be his fans no matter what, through fire and hell on earth. So like, in that case, I feel like it's a little different.
Which that in itself is also.
I'm gonna do some shit. I'm gonna compare. He's on some Trump shit. He's on some. He built them. He built his fan base on this. You know what I mean? So why would they leave?
They go to him
now that he's getting exposed for it. Right? They liked him because of that, so they're not gonna leave. Even if he doesn't need to apologize, the people that are gonna stick are sticking because they like him because he's a dirtbag. You know what I mean? I wanted to rewind real quick to what Lumen was saying about public figures. Anyway. Because I wanted to say this, but I went ahead and let everybody get that out. So with the public figures thing, I've never understood this. This is such nonsense to me. When it comes to, this isn't like an apology thing, but talking about them getting on social media and apologizing to fans and things like that. This is just the word you said, public figure. If you acted in 7 movies and I loved them, I love your work. I don't have to know who you are, and I don't care. If you're a top player in a fighting game, I love your skills. There's guys that I know that I don't like them, but I will watch them on stream, and I love the way that they play the game, so I'll be like, I want you to win this. You know what I mean? Your NBA player, whatever, right? where rappers, like people like the rappers need to speak out about this, and that. When did being good at an art and having money mean that I should listen to any opinion you have about anything? Why is anyone looking to these people, public figures, for anything? They're just good at something and they have money. If you're actually a public figure because of your voice, if we're talking about Farrakhan or some shit like that, all right, I'm looking to you. Now talk to me. But if you have album of the year, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I think that's fair. It's the we've gotten into this weird space where, and it's because of how the internet, it's because of what the internet has turned into, what we turned the internet into. Because it was all those things were already there, but they were there in person. You had the person in the community or in your little town that was like the person for X, Y, and Z. So they might have been like, some sort of celebrity, or to use like the one thing is like the village idiot. Like they're just known for that. And now you have the internet has turned what would normally be a city, a physical place of a city, into this global network where you don't even know who your internet neighbor is, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're trying to use these same rules, these same skills that we've used as interpersonal skills online when they don't really apply. They can't really apply because I can't see what you're saying on Twitter. I don't even know who you are on Twitter.
Or I mean, the same thing we said about Twitch, though, too. You know how many streamers people literally fucking idolize, but in real life they're shitbags?
Yeah. Or it's a character.
Yeah, like they
character,
I mean, that's facts, though. People they're streamers that know to get people to give them this money. They need to pretend like they're these great people, but you meet some of these people in person and you find out that they're actually fucking trash tier human beings. And they only do what they do to take your money. And then, while you're giving them, they laugh their ass to the bank thinking, oh, look at these fools. I'm not saying all of them are like that, obviously, but I personally know a decent amount that fall into that category.
Can I ask you a broad question to all you guys?
Sure.
This is a very broad question and there's no right or wrong answer. I just want to hear what you guys say. Actually, let me get a beer real quick, and then I'm about to sit back and listen to you guys. This is going to be great.
There was something I had a topic or I had a thing I wanted to say in the back of my head, and it totally it just skipped out on me. Crap.
I wanted to bring up. There's like a post like that, or someone was talking about what Tokido.
Somebody saying Tokido did something bad?
No. He was like saying it's like the greatest champions are the ones who earn the respect of people, like of players inside and people outside of the game. And it's sort of like there's like this duality of like I don't know. I think that if you aim to be like the most visible person, like the best at something, that you should also be a great role model for other people. But at the same time, it does seem and is really stupid to just idolize somebody for being good at the game. Like you have to make this realization in your head that it's like you have to separate the talent from the person. But I do think that people, if they are going to be that visible and be like, and you can't help it. I think people just look at a famous player, especially people that are younger or they want to join the scene or something like that, and they see them as like a role model for their actions, like what they should do.
So that's actually one of my favorite things about the pandemic. So I like reading, and this has made me like not want to play video games and read more. And I know I've like mentioned reading this before, but I feel like almost every time we fucking talk, like something becomes relatable to it. Like when I actually picked up The Will to Keep Winning, I feel like the pandemic was such a good time, and like quarantine was such a good time for me to read it, because in the book, like Daigo isn't just idolized for his play. People idolize him on, his character as well. And I don't mean character as like this false persona he's playing, but like his character as a person. And like just the more every chapter I get to in the book, it's like new things open up that make me think. And honestly, the book is extremely motivating as well. So like when I was really down and started reading it, there was definitely parts of the book that just like made me be like, holy shit, like this makes me want to do better. There's one page like I want Alex to read, just this one page for something that me and Alex talked about the other day. And last night I went to go read the last chapter and saw this page and I was like, gotta send this to Alex ASAP. But he, I feel like he's the same situation as Takedo, definitely for being like, some of the very first professional gamers out of Japan. I don't see those two being idolized just off of their play. I see people idolize Tokido and Daigo because of the person they are. And that to me is like, that's when you've made it, is when people aren't just complimenting your play style and they're complimenting you as a person.
So here's what I think I can say to boil it down. And this is a simplified way of saying everything, because we've all said it in different ways. Before we're anything else, before we're some co-owner of an esports organization, a player, a streamer, anything like that, you are a person. And if you do not have your person, that level, if you do not have that in check, as in it's cared for, it's understood, it's a strong foundation, you try to add player, owner, content creator, all these factors, it's going to fall flat, and your whole persona, everything you built, is going to come crashing down in some form or another. That is why you experience fatigue. That is why you experience that ego. That is why that's why people experience all these faults, because they never took care of that very first layer.
I like it.
What was your thing, Curtis?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Well, tell me, what do you?
No, the question is, what in your mind? Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. What is a good person? People say good person, right? What is a good person?
Somebody who doesn't go out of their way to be a piece of shit.
That's too. That's
a really hard thing to answer.
Come on, Lumen. I want to hear Lumen. It is. That's the point.
Okay.
People act like it's black and white, but it's not. That's why I want to hear this.
So it is a very complex answer, because one, starting just from the definition, because the definition of good and bad, super subjective already. However, just even before those, good and bad was a thing we made up. It's arbitrary. We made it up. The duality is something we made up. 100%. You can look it up in history.
Oh, so I have a question since you stated that. So as a kid, playing Halo, if that means I wasn't wrong if I thought that Arbiter was the good person and Master Chief was actually the bad guy?
Correct.
I guarantee you could look at it from his perspective, and he could have been, if it was written different, he could have been the good guy.
Right. So it depends whose perspective you're looking from.
Yeah.
So low tier guy could be the good guy.
Various different cultures have different ways of evaluating morals. It's like
exactly. So that's also one that's kind of a worrisome thing, because it's true. That is a true statement to some of the individuals that most likely see him as a good guy.
I knew Arbiter was a good guy.
So I wouldn't say it's a question about being a good guy or a bad guy. I'd say it's consistency. Your words and your actions need to match up. When we make mistakes, when we lie, when we need to do when something goes wrong, it's because we said something, did something different. We did something, say something different. Let's just use relationship as an example. Yeah, I like being with this person and I love them. Yeah, but aren't you cheating on them? Like, what you're telling me is that you're wanting to stay with this person and you made an agreement to be, faithful to this person. But you're not. So there's a discrepancy there. If you can be consistent through your words and your actions, you will end up a revered individual, because that is what humans want. We want a strong consistency and someone who has a lot of self-respect and a lot of self-confidence. And the people who have that are the people whose words and actions match up the most.
Yeah, I feel that because, like,
You're muted.
to me,
Zip, you
What?
muted.
Curtis, you're muted.
My bad.
There we
I
go.
like what you said there, but this just feeds to the fact that this is an amazing question, because if
Sure.
you take what you said and say consistency and living up to your word, then that could
Yeah,
say that, like he said, low tier God would be a good person. Genghis
He
Khan would
consistently
be a
is
good
an
person
asshole.
because they are consistent. But anyway, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that you are
If you
wrong.
wanna
I'm
be
just
reviewed
saying
as
I
an
love the
asshole.
question because that answer still leaves. Oh, I don't think there's a right answer to this. I just wanted to hear perspectives. It's all
well,
I'm
I
saying.
mean, even for the fact that he said the part about lying, because, like, I don't necessarily think lying makes you a bad person. I think what makes you a bad person is when somebody knows you're lying and they confront you about it and give you the opportunity to be honest, and you still, even though that they know that you're lying at this point, you still choose to not be honest and fix your mistake. I feel like that's when you become a bad person.
So you do now from yourself, because what I was talking about, because you're right, like looking to your example, so saying Genghis Khan, low tier God, could be considered good people. From their perspective, they could see themselves as good. That's just their perspective.
Guaranteed.
From your own self, you want that consistency, and people will want to follow that because, well, low tier's God's been doing it since day one. He hasn't changed. So I knew what I was getting into. You should know this is all part of the act. Genghis Khan did it and was, and did all this things.
There is a difference between that, because let's say that it's true that all right, you said we spoke about people playing characters. What if
Right.
in reality you are a good person but your character is a bad person? If
This is true.
you play a really bad character, does that change like who you are, even if you don't believe this thing's truly? Because, like, all right, so this is a little off topic on that, but fucking Joffrey from
Yeah, I was
Game
gonna
of
say.
Thrones,
Yeah.
everybody fucking hates that kid because of his character. But the reason he actually he stated in his own words that the day Joffrey got killed out of the show was one of the best days of his life, because this kid is such a genuinely good person that playing the role of that character, he hated it. He was like, I've never played a character so much of the complete opposite that I am, and I despise playing this character because of how shitty he is. So when they killed my character, I was so happy that I no longer had to get up and pretend to be like that.
So
Can I weigh in?
yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
for it.
All I'm gonna say is when it comes to something like that, he's playing a character that is telling a story, so he's a piece in the middle of a game, right? When it comes to somebody like Cloutier God that created the character to push a narrative, there's differences in those two things. I think one is pushing bad, even if he's not like that, you're still feeding negativity.
Well, I mean,
And
it's just
then
him. The
with
same
the
goes
show,
for
if you're a
F-Champ.
bad guy, I'm just anybody. I'm only using examples, and
Right.
I don't even freaking know Low Tier God. I don't know. I've never watched any of his shit. I've met him once. I ain't gonna lie. I've watched like a couple of his videos, and I met him one time. But I'll say I don't think of him in any kind of way because I don't know. I'm so far removed. I don't know.
The reason that I
But
use
anyway.
him and F-Champ for examples is because F-Champ is confirmed that his character is a persona. He literally said, I chose to take that on because back in the day, he felt that that's what the FGC needed. And if he was going to be the fallback, it's cool. At least people will get entertainment out of it. But I've heard on multiple cases from multiple people that in person, in a normal setting, Ryan and F-Champ and fucking Low Tier God are actually not bad people. But when they turn that camera on, they're a whole nother person. So like, where does the line draw on that? Because, like, say they both are really good people IRL, like does
The
the
narrative you're
character they
feeding.
portray make them shitty people?
So here's the answer.
Go
Here's
ahead,
kind of
Lumen. Go ahead,
kind of
Lumen.
it adds it adds what to what you're saying, Curtis. It is a social narrative, but it's an agreement. In Joffrey's example, as people who are watching the show, we have agreed, all of us agreed, as much as we hate the character, this is a show. These are actors. We've agreed that this is fake. We've agreed that this is not real. That these are
You're
playing.
wrong.
No, but like I no,
come on. You know where he's going.
But I'm gonna tell you why he's wrong.
But no, still people. I know there's a lot of people who still looked at Joffrey as the person to be like, "Fuck you," like you're a shitty person, and they didn't see that. Like as a general social society, we're going big here. General social society. When we look at society, we would look at shows and movies. We know that they're acting, so they can do very dark scenes, like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. They can do shit like that, and you're just like, fuck. But at the end of the day, it's a movie.
Okay, hold on. So let me tell you why I feel like it's different. Do you ever watch Walking Dead?
Let me jump into the streamer side, and then
hold on. Yeah, I want to hear that.
The streamer side is different because someone who's a streamer, there isn't, unless they're like Dr. Disrespect, and I will say even using him as an example is also interesting because he didn't start off as this initial, this is a bit, this is a character. Some people thought this was a legitimate thing, and they were just like, oh shit, like this guy's like, Dr. Respect's like this fucking cool guy, and like, badass, whatever, however they called it. And it wasn't until like bigger streamers like Tim the Tatman and other people who were weighing in on it be like, this is a bit. Like there's a real person, there's a guy being behind it. He's a real person. He's got a family. It's a bit.
Well, anybody in the Call of Duty scene knew that because he worked. He worked for Call of Duty before that.
So they knew that. But for streamers, there's no agreement that this is fake unless the streamer themselves specifically says this is a character, this is a persona. Going to what Curtis said, it's the narrative that they're pushing. So Low Tier God pushing the narrative that he's this asshole. Is he really genuinely an asshole by the rules that you've created or that the society's created? I don't know. I don't know the person. You'd have to know him. You'd have to meet the guy in person out of this realm to really know somebody.
So
yeah,
in Evo 2017, I'm not gonna lie. I've always been a fan of F Champ since the beginning. But Evo 2017
for a second.
I was outside smoking, and F Champ came outside. We talked for a minute, and next thing I know, it was just us out there, and we were talking for like an hour plus and chain smoking. And in the conversation I had with him, that's where I like understood it myself. Like, yo, people might think that he's this way in general, but like the conversation I had with him like showed like he was actually a really fucking nice person. He was just at the end of the day just happy to be there, happy to fucking, it was like I'm trying to, win Marvel for the last year. I'm trying to do my best in Street Fighter. I'm here to have a good time and hang out with my people. Like just the way he spoke, he actually came off as an extremely nice guy. So, he not this, fuck you, you're trash, this is my game, give this guy a round character,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I feel like in one of the interviews that he even kind of showed part of that because he was asked like why he played Dalsum, and he said that he played Dalsum because he was trying to pick the character that looked like evil and like a villain. Obviously, Dalsum does look like that, so that's why he was like, come to find out, I find out that Dalsum is actually, just fighting only to feed and protect his village and stuff like that. And it's like he was like, so
definitely not a bad guy.
Yeah, but he didn't know first. He was like, spits fire, got the skulls on the necklace. Yeah. Like he, from visual appearance, he thought that Dalsum was a bad guy, and that's why he decided. That was one of the initial reasons he decided to play him. So he was literally picking his character based off his persona.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
The thing that you were saying about everybody understands that. So if you and Walking Dead, the character Lori, Rick's wife from the beginning, people hated her so much, not her character, but because of her character hated her so much that when she was doing like Comic-Con appearances and stuff, people were throwing shit at her, telling her to like die and go to hell. Like,
we're talking about people, not clowns.
For real.
Like, but she was okay with it. She said, "I don't care." She was like, "Honestly, if people despise me this much from the character I played, that means I did a damn good job playing the role."
That means people can't. I blurred the lines between fantasy and reality like that.
So this kind of all turns back to what we were talking about earlier, is that when it came to the realm of movies and meeting people in person, we can gauge somebody in person. Like, we have the ability to see if someone's legit, like genuinely what we would consider a good person or a bad person. Over social media, it is so hard to confirm that, because you can know somebody, even a streamer, you can watch them day in, day out, and they can totally be an asshole on stream, however, but then they're really not. Like,
or the opposite.
Exactly, or the opposite. And especially on Twitter, on stuff you like, pictures and Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, like all this stuff is text-based. Even with photos and videos, it's all planned, premeditated stuff that's recorded. So the person doing is going to push a certain narrative. We can't confirm until we meet a person in the flesh. Yeah, I hate this person, or a true opinion of somebody.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. So it's going back to the original question of like, what makes a good person or a bad person? I mean, a very simplified version, I don't know. It depends on what you want. Depends on how you see a good person or bad person is. Like, it's your life, it's your rules, it's your perspective.
No, man, I fucks with
people
you, bro.
suck.
I fucks with you because that having no answer, what you just did right there at the very end, having no answer is the correct answer. That. I mean, there is no right answer. Even with that, what the fuck is good, right? It's still not a thing. But that was still good.
And everybody wants to believe that people can be good, but like I don't really have too much faith in humanity at this point, to be honest.
So inherently, when I would disagree with you saying people are inherently evil, because I look at kids. Kids aren't shitty thing. They're not shitty individuals.
I know
they can learn, right?
The school with some shitty fucking kids.
Right. But look at the parents.
No, yeah, that's the parents. I know where you're going with this.
Is it always the parents, though?
Yeah,
not always. But
I don't believe that. I remember a fucking third grader tried to kill his teacher.
See, but then that goes into mental. That's a whole mental thing there. There's something else going on inside. There are extremes. So no, correct. It is not always the parents. However, in most cases, with children learn from what they see. They learn from a very, very young age. Before they're speaking, the moment they see you, the moment they hear you, they're learning. Whatever you're doing, they're going to pick up. They're going to learn to hate what you hate, like what you like, and then eventually the world's going to shatter because they're going to realize, oh, my parents actually don't know what they're doing.
See, the reason I go against that is because I was never like that with my parents. Like, I couldn't be any more different.
No, sir. You created your own person after a while, but you definitely, nobody in this world can go without being with them and being molded by their parents. You definitely were. But you became your own afterwards, and you became completely different than them. I will say that.
If it was up to my dad, I would have never touched a video game, and I'd still, to this day, I'd spend every free moment I had fucking hunting and shit like that, or fishing at all times. And like, even like when I was a kid, he used to force me to do it, thinking it was going to make me like fall in love with it, and it never did. It never worked. Like, there was a lot of things that my dad was like, I guess, tried to get me to like, because he wanted me to be like him, and I couldn't have been more like, that was my rebellious stage, I guess, was by me refusing it. Like,
you don't guaranteed you're not going to be them, but you're going to be shaped by them, is what he's saying. You're not gonna just be a carbon copy. But when your brain is developing in those early stages and you can't talk and you can't get things yourself, and you're just trucking along through life with these beings that are they're shaping you. They're shaping their actions. You're watching this, you're seeing that. You don't even remember some of that stuff that you saw, and it put an imprint on you. You know what I mean? Back whenever, there's a certain point of life when you look back and you're like, I don't remember shit from whenever I was this age. Like, anything back there, that's when you were getting molded. You know what I'm saying?
So what about the youth that completely strays away from doing stuff because of their parents?
That's still getting molded by that because they're deciding to
that's a
do it.
reactionary.
That's a reactionary thing. Like, I'll use my example as myself as an example there. I'm full Mexican. My mom and my sister are fully like hot-blooded, in your face. They've calmed down a lot since then, but growing up, like, that was how they were. They were loud and argued a lot. I didn't like doing that because I was like, there's no point in this. Words didn't mean anything because it didn't matter how much you can yell, how loud you can get.
Yeah, you make me angry with that sometimes. We'll be like having a serious conversation, and I'm like legitimately mad, and I want to yell, and you're like, you just stay so calm, and sometimes it pisses me off. I'm like, fuck, Lumen, be mad with me right now.
So that's a whole other thing, but yeah, you're right. You can. I'm learning to be mad. Like, I am. I'll be honest about that. I'm learning how to be mad.
You gotta learn to be mad.
Well, but I don't have to, because I don't have to yell. I don't have to scream. I don't want to do that because it takes so much emotional energy from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I can very much, I don't have to be like, fuck you, to be like, I'm mad. I can be like, Dylan, I'm pissed, dude. Of course I'm pissed.
We've literally been in this situation.
We have.
We're in like a group call, and like everybody's stating that they're pissed, and like we're like, oh my god, this is fucking bullshit. And Lumen's like, yeah, man, I'm not happy right now, and I'm like, oh my god, bro.
But
I was like, I could tell by your voice, my guy, I promise.
But then
some people are less animated. I don't know.
That comes into another layer of things, but that comes into communication, of like communicating in a certain way. Because just like the way that you when you expect someone to be mad, you have these expectations. When someone's mad, Dylan, they yell, they scream, they shout, they get loud, they get they get huff, and they start like, their hackles go up. I didn't want to do that. My sister and my mom did it when I was a kid. Like, and I didn't do anything for me. I didn't. When I tried doing it, I got punished for it more so. So, to going back to the thing, like, I got molded to do the opposite, which is now as an adult, when something hits the fan, I immediately stoic, because that is my coping mechanism. That is the mode I need to go into, because I don't want to let myself be like, shit, fuck. Like, I gotta get all pissed and do all that. I still want to be calm and collected, and still have those, and still acknowledge those feelings.
See, I guess when I was young, I didn't do as much, like, I didn't do like the clearly angry as I am now, but like when I was young, it was worse. Because when I was young, when I was pissed, I didn't yell. My immediate reaction was to punch a hole through something. Like, and I know. I mean, you don't have to tell me. I know that was fucking terrible, but that's the way I handled my anger when I was young, bro. Like, if I was legit that mad, even if I was mad at a bar, I was punching a hole through the fucking gate or something like that. Or I had 5. My old Silverado, I had 5 dents in it for me. Like, I punched holes through my doors in my house. My whole bedroom was full of holes. Like, I guess it was like, because of the area, or like because of what I went through growing up. Like, I was naturally like violent at the time, so instead of, I would try to avoid, a fight, so I would put a hole through something. And there was definitely a couple times where like my truck happened to be the closest thing to me, so I put a dent in that too. And I grew out of that before. I definitely grew out of that before I even hit 21. But I expressly get mad now, but I'd rather what I do now than what I did back then. Because, like, the last thing I need to do at fucking 27 years old is be punching shit to express my anger.
We'll get you.
I mean, I don't know if a lot of other people have done that. I feel like that's common, or that was common when you were younger. Maybe not.
So I would say that in itself, like what you expressed, like how on a spectrum of how anger is expressed, I say that we learned from watching, but like personally from my experience, no one taught me how to be mad. No one taught me how to be sad. No one even taught me how to be happy or scared, anything like that. Like you had to learn how to do that just by watching.
Agreed.
And I'd say overall, that's why we're seeing what we're seeing now. I mean, we've been seeing it all along, but now we're seeing it much more on social media. Like all the shit that gets spewed by like the people who are doing cancel culture and like seeking blood out for like if someone does any wrong, they need to be dead. Like they need to be gone, kicked off Twitter, kicked off the world, so just everything like that. The reason when people, and this is hard because I'd say for when someone's genuinely apologizing and they do it on Twitter and people are like, fuck you, I don't believe your apology, I don't believe this, blah, 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 blah. When someone is genuinely happy about something and then somebody goes, nah, that's fake, it's just a fucking way, like they're just trying to like act it and play it up and do all that shit. Or like when someone's like legitimately even scared about something and be like, oh, that's not that fucking bad. We never
judge it too much, man.
Yeah, but right, exactly. So it's almost like we're judging too much because no one, we were never taught how to deal with
There's
this
so
shit.
much to understand about a person. It's like hard to.
Well, people are so fucking complex.
I think some people are taught those things. I think because I've had conversations with people that were molded correctly by their parents, right? I'll say like my father wasn't around, so all I had was to watch my mother, and she had to work so much. My dad left when I was 12. And well, my mom kicked him out anyway because he was a piece of shit. Mom kicked him out when I was 12. My older brother's 10 years older than me, and she got with my father when he was 3. So now you go to there and you say she didn't work when she was with him. So all the way from when my older brother was 3 all the way until I'm 12, she has no work history. So now she has to go to work. So she's working 2 jobs because she has no work history. She can't make any fucking money. So she was never home. That's the point I'm proving. She was never fucking home. So there's no dad. All my uncles live out of state. My mom's not there. So I literally didn't have anybody to mold me. And I will tell you, I was a piece of garbage. And I had no idea how to act. I had no idea how to respond to things. And I was like, this is where I'm at this moment, and it's my way or the fucking highway, right? So anyway, my whole point is I didn't have anybody to mold me, and I would say I didn't get structured correctly to handle my emotions, and I had to deal with that over time. I'm still working on it, and I purposely knew that I was fucked up and tried to fix those things. You yourself, you said nobody taught you how to be upset, I think there are people that had that in place where their parents were shaping them for this future that we're going to have. And that's, you met serene, calm, cool, collected people that do know how to handle their thoughts. I know you have. Everyone has. So anyway, I just want to say, I don't think that's a thing that everyone has and that the whole society hasn't, but I think that as a group, we might be able to say it. Well, Dylan, DJ, you haven't said anything about it, but I think us three, we've said we don't have that. And for people like us, that's a tough thing because I hope nobody takes when I talk about myself and like I was saying earlier, I chill and I sit to myself and I've been purposely fixing my own thoughts and shit like that. Definitely, I'm not better than anybody, and I've never thought that. But I have recognition of who I am, and I try to fix myself according to my own standards, of course. But I try to fix myself, and I think that people don't do that is the problem when it comes to dealing with your emotions.
And see, for me, like
that initial layer,
people live outside of themselves.
I've acknowledged the wrong way I've handled things for years, definitely all through my youth, and it was around when I was 21 that I first realized that like I need to change because like the things I'm doing are not okay, and that was fucking almost 7 years ago.
That's
So
great recognition, bro.
ever since then, like, I don't think there is a thing as perfection. I'll never handle things the way in a way to be considered perfect. But my goal is every single day I try to handle myself better. Like, definitely Lumen's probably seen every form of mad I can be, from the point where I'm mad and I yell, the point where, which I really don't do that in front of people. That's typically just like small circle stuff. Typically in public when I'm mad, it depends. If it's something obviously involved and like I feel like somebody I care about is being attacked or somebody's trying to fight somebody I'm close to, obviously I'm going to react differently to that. But I've actually become good at, like, in public when I'm getting mad, making it almost unapparent that I'm mad. Like,
That's good.
trying to, nobody even being able to tell, or and unless I have to go walk off for it. But like honestly, I feel like everybody in our group I've seen. Like, I've seen DJ mad before, and I was actually shocked because Mad DJ is still a
Passionate.
pretty fucking calm and collected person.
I'm trying to think
Like,
what time you saw me mad. I don't even remember.
I don't want to put details out
Oh,
there,
okay,
but
okay.
like,
Oh wait, never mind.
I've seen DJ mad, and like I
Yeah.
almost had to like double take and be like, "Are you really mad right now? Or are you fucking with me?" You know,
Yeah.
like, because you're pretty calm for the situation, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like, granted, like I said, I've tend to become a lot more calm in public when I'm mad, but like it usually leads to me just not speaking or nodding my head more than saying words. And depending on how bad it gets, I got to walk off to cool down. But like, I don't get like in public like "fuck you" and start screaming unless it's something that calls for that. Which ideally you don't want to be in those situations at all. But like and like Alex when he gets mad, some of the times he laughs. Like that like,
Yeah.
I watch that shit, like, he'll be mad, but he'll randomly laugh, but I feel like it's because he doesn't know what to say in the situation, so he laughs instead. So, like, I find it, and that whole situation I see very interesting on, like, definitely, like, your inner circle, watching how everybody reacts to different things and how they
Mhm.
handle it compared to how you do. Like I said, Lumen gets mad, he's just like, "God darn it, dude." And I'm like, "What?"
I don't stop cussing, Jesus.
It was actually just like a monk.
Yeah. It like it's God, it's because this is all stuff that you can see in person too. Like, you need to see this stuff in person. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
expanding it to social media, it's like you can't see this shit. There's so many times I've seen people being like, "They're not fucking mad. Look at him. He's calm and collected on this video. Like, why would he? He's not even mad at this. Oh, he's pissed. He's just not fucking screaming and yelling like
Yeah,
you're
he's just
used
not
to.
you.
Yeah, he's just not you.
That's something I wanted to say when you were saying that a minute ago. I went off on a whole different ass tangent, but I wanted to say what you're saying, like people saying you're not reacting like this is video. That's fake. That's fake. That's fake. That's fake. That's because they're imprinting themselves onto the other person in the video.
Yes.
And you're not fucking them. So just because what they're doing
Yeah.
isn't what you would do does not mean it is fake. Everyone calls everything fake. It's ridiculous.
Oh, well, what are you referring to? Something Lumen
In
said?
general, yeah, Lumen was saying earlier, like when you watch a reaction video and somebody's excited about something that's coming out, and people are like, "He's hyping it up. He ain't really excited." Or somebody that's upset in a video, he ain't really that mad. Or why is he's saying he's mad, but this is bad acting. He's not
You're
really
Twitch
that
acting,
mad.
You're acting. You're whatever.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just acting. You're acting. No, they're just not you.
What's up, Hold My Gin? Nice to
Hey,
see you,
what's
No,
up,
brother.
some people are acting. Some people are acting. Let's get that
Yeah.
straight. But
That's why
I
I
think
love
this the whole
I think people
the whole
do
issue, I guess, is
deflect a lot.
it also is authenticity. I guess is what we've been dancing around, or like how do we stay?
Yeah.
Like, we have a public persona and a private persona. We've been talking about this. Like, I know people on a private level, and I know people's Twitter accounts, and and those are
Yeah.
people that I don't know on a private level. And it's like,
Doza.
yeah, no. There's so many people. I've even thought about it
Yo,
myself recently,
that
because
kid.
like I want to, like, I don't know, like I want to post stupid memes. Like, I'm not trying to say that I'm trying to like show something that I wouldn't show a bunch of people ever, but stuff that maybe that would be more suited for like my close friends, or like our sense of humor or whatever, you know. it's like it's a lot of the issues right now are just like maintaining like authenticity between your public life and your private life, and a lot of these issues are like we're all of a sudden we're seeing this is a private comment this guy made to somebody, and that is not the persona, right, that they maintain publicly. But it's also really hard to manage that. Like at the same time, it's like we expect people to only be positive on social media a lot of the times. We expect people to only show, you know, what cool shit are they doing right now? Are you being productive? Yes, only show me this. It's like this is what we expect to see when we get on social media and how we compare ourselves to other people, but that's not being our realist self. And I don't know, I'm kind of running out of steam here, but like, you know, a lot of this is the issue because social media is so prevalent now. Then it's like, how do we all like have a sort of brand persona of ourselves, and then how do we also like feel that we're still expressing our inner self at the end of the day? So we
So
feel
this goes to
complete
something that
instead
you
of
and me
like
talked
feel like an
about.
act. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'll
for
add to this.
one,
I'm
thanks
done
for the
with
sub, Jen. We appreciate it. But
that. Jen!
you told me before, you were like, I'm trying to monitor how I really post on my Twitter and my shit posting.
Yeah.
And remember, I told you back then, don't stop, because for one, none of your shit posting goes overboard, but that's a part of your personality, bro. Like I like when people keep it 100 on Twitter.
Mhm.
Like, be yourself, unless you're gonna post something fucking garbage that is completely unwarranted for like some creepy shit. But like your memes and shit like that, dude. We do that in group chats. You do that in text. Like keep like be true to yourself and keep it real. Don't try to build this fake persona like you're not like that. That's why when you told me back then, you were like, I feel like I should stop doing that, and I was like, no, don't, because I mean, you doing that is authentic. Like that's literally, we're in group chats that are built around that. There's no need for you to stop, and that's not like your fucking memes are like on some overly graphic or disturbing type of shit.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, check me out. So you said be authentic, right? And then you said unless you're being creepy or blah blah blah, right? Check
That's
me out.
not authentic.
Yeah, how's it not?
I'm talking about be authentic.
If
Is
that's
like
them, that's them.
do what you would not do
that's
just
the thing
because
that's
of
causing
Twitter.
all of these ripples right now, is that there are people on their private accounts, even an issue internally with us, right, that you're like, oh shit, this is actually how this person is, on a public level kind of thing. I don't know, it's like,
So it's
but that's weird because it's still online and it's still public. So like the whole concept of private Twitters is so fucking stupid, because you're still allowing people to see that.
No, I see what you're saying.
People can screenshot that and post it to your fucking
more
normal
comfortable
Twitter.
to say that. Yeah.
Yo,
I didn't mean it in the sense of like, oh, the whole fucking, if you're a pedophile, post pedophile shit. But I mean like,
no. Check me. You didn't say anything crazy.
Yeah.
No. You didn't say anything crazy. You said unless. You said don't do that, right? Yeah. I'm about to take it to a weird level. So,
get the collector cups ready.
If you're a fucking weirdo, then be a fucking weirdo. I don't care if it's not perceived correctly to people. I don't care what it is. You be who you are. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the problem with. We're talking about internet, but that's even in person.
Yeah.
People hide parts of themselves, right? So let me spit something real quick. Y'all ever seen that video of that this dude, man? I went on a rabbit hole watching them, but it was because I saw this video. It was Charles Barkley and another NBA reporter talking to this white nationalist dude. Y'all ever seen that shit?
No.
I've never seen Charles Barkley talk to a white nationalist.
Yo, bro. It's a pretty, check me out. It's a pretty viral video, but it's older. At this point,
maybe I have. I don't know.
Probably 3 to 4 years old now, maybe 5. Fuck, I don't know. But I saw it again recently because of the climate that's going on, right? How the world is. So anyway, this is what the video is. The dude, I went on rabbit hole and started watching him just to see what the fuck he was gonna say on other videos, because it was real interesting to me how open he was with his hatred. My dude is just like, yeah, I'm racist, and and I want white people to do better than you. And he's talking to Charles Barkley and shit. He's like, we're in a world where white people are becoming we're not going to be the majority after a while. We're going to be the minority, and I want to do better than you. I want my kids to grow up around Caucasians, and he's just fucking wide open with it, right? This is what I'm saying. If you're a fucking weirdo and you're a racist or you're a piece of shit in my eyes, right? He doesn't think he's a piece of shit. If you're who you are, post on your shit and you be who you are, buddy. People are going to connect to you that think you are who you are and that love who you are, and people are going to fucking hate you for that. But guess what? You're still genuine, and you don't have to search and dig to figure out who the fuck you are. I said to one of my homies that I was talking about that video to him, yeah, that dude, I'll never fucking like that dude, right? I would probably do what Charles did, sit down and talk to him and try to understand why he thinks like that, and try to give him some information to feed his brain so he could probably change later. I would never like him, but I definitely respect the fact that he is just blatant and saying what he thinks and what has molded him and what's made him who he is. So I can now just go, I heard you talk for 5 minutes and I literally know what you think. It's not hidden. So I can just say, okay, that's who you are. All right, cool. We're not friends. Good. You know, right? And I don't have to find out down the road. I know who you are. We can have a dialogue and we can try to fix this and try to change minds. But at least I know who you are. You know how many ghosts are out here? People that look like you think you know who they are. You think. Yeah. But you definitely fucking don't. They're the guy from the video. They're him. But they'll never say it to you. They're only going to say it to their friends.
I always support being genuine. Like, I'm a fucking weirdo. But the reason I was making an exception is, like I specifically said, unless it's something like pedophilia, because that's not weird. That's a whole nother level. If you're that is never at any point acceptable. Like, being who you are is great. And if you're into weird shit, that's cool too. But there's a very few things that cross that line that any person with a fucking brain should know does not belong to be out there.
Yeah. I'm not arguing against it. I'm not arguing against it. Just the one detail of anybody with a brain. Because pedophilia is something in the brain that's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's not like,
I remember you talked about how some people are wired like that, you know, just
sexuality. Sexuality is a wiring. You don't choose your sexuality. You can't. It's there. It's in you. It's what you're into already. You learn it. You learn how to, like, you know, build it up or like different aspects of it. But like, now that's in their wiring. It doesn't make it okay, because as a society, and I'm saying it this way to just kind of go with the same theme. I'm not trying to like.
I know what you're doing, bro. Yeah. But say it for the people, though. Say it for the people, though.
Yeah, this is for the people. This is not to undermine. This is not to undermine that, but I'm saying it this way because these are the expectations and these are the agreements that we, as a society, as a global society, well, I won't say global. I will say as this culture have agreed on. Pedophilia is wrong. We do not like any pedophiles or anything like that. However, you do have to see that it's in their brain. So going into the realm of like, how do you deal with that? Those are people who are professionally trained to deal with that kind of shit and work with those individuals. And so we're going back to the thing is that humans are so fucking complex. There are things that we just don't understand about ourselves. Why why Dylan punches a truck. Like, he understands it now. He didn't understand it as a kid. Why'd I go stoic when I get mad? I didn't understand it as a kid. I just did it. Now I understand. The question that I wonder when I'm seeing all these posts on social media and doing all these different things is, how many of those people understand what they're doing and what they're saying? Because to the people who are saying really crazy shit, like really misogynistic, really like just fucking over the top, fuck, dude, you are a fucked up person in a negative way. my question is, do some people fully grasp what they're saying? Because I will say, as me as an individual, I didn't really start looking at myself until I went through a divorce. And then I was like, oh, hold up. I didn't ever think I'd go through something like this. So clearly there's something like in me that's like fucked. So I worked on myself and became a better person. I'm still working on myself. So that's kind of the things I'm seeing that I'm asking the question of like, do these people genuinely honestly understand what the fuck they're saying? Because I mean, you see it in video games all the fucking time. Like, they're just talking shit to people. Like the other day I was playing Valorant and some guy was like, he was just fucking around, wasn't doing anything. Me and Alex were just bitching at the guy, and he's like, "Guys, you're getting mad at a game." I'm like, "No, I'm getting mad because you're wasting my fucking time." He's like, "In a video game, I don't care what it is in. You're wasting my time, and I don't like it, and it's making me mad." So yeah, I'm mad.
Yeah.
But like that's what I'm trying to say. Like it's just this weird like people. Did that kid really understand what the fuck he was doing? Probably not. He was just being a little shit. He just thought it was just a fucking joke. Didn't really fucking care.
So I think there's two sides of that. What you're saying, exactly right. People don't understand they don't fully grasp what they say and do. I mean, and I think anybody can fall in that category when it comes to any layer of life. People aren't going to understand everything that they're doing at all times, right? So anyway, so there's that side, what you just said, and then the other side of it is people haven't let in enough, even if they do understand what they're saying and they're saying some wild shit, they haven't let in enough outside perspectives. And even if they did let that outside perspective in, they didn't even let little trickles of it into their brain. They just were like, you said that, I don't fucking care because this is what I think already. I will never mold this thought.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? That's it. You have a locked in thought, or you have the people, like you said, that have no idea the gravity that they hold with what they're saying. You know?
And those thoughts that you've held on to are stuff that you picked up as a kid.
Facts.
To spin things a little bit, considering there was a couple things we were going to talk about in the community as well, and we don't have too much time left. So this is something interesting I saw earlier, and it really had me thinking. So like somebody put out there, they were like, yeah, majority of the top figures in Smash are the ones that have been the worst lately. So somebody was like, any org right now that is willing to pick up a Smash player and get involved in that scene is insane. Even Smash players were like, I think that this is where our scene dies and we go back to full on grassroots and we're no longer esports. And another person said, yeah, I think when all these contracts run up for, big orgs and the Smash players, like there's a possibility of it not re-signing and that happening to the scene. What do you think about that? I mean, because I'm not going to lie, at this point, I feel like I'd almost be nervous to pick up a top Smash player because you don't know if in fucking 2 weeks they're the next one that, you find out the truth about them.
That's doing the due diligence and taking the time to actually know that person.
Okay, but in Zero and Nairo's case, you think people knew them for years? They didn't know that they were fucking involved in this shit. That's not something you go around telling people.
Huge, like they were already winning tournaments. Were already on.
But that's what I'm saying. Even obviously, majority of orgs, when you want to pick up a player, you want to pick up a player of that caliber.
Yeah,
an already well-known player.
Sure.
That you're not gonna know them on that level to know if they're fucking like pedos and shit, or if they're sexually harassing people, because that's typically not something they're just gonna talk about, and not too many people know that to begin with, except the people who are the victims in it. But
so go ahead.
I meant more like on the thoughts of how do y'all think it's a possibility that this is the end of Smash Esports?
No, hell no.
Nope.
No way. I would say that it's an area right now that the scene is learning how to navigate. Have they ever dealt with something like this? No. So this is their first time. Look at the other sports. I mean, not to, and without looking at the sizes, like size
I
does
like
play size does play a thing into it. However, I would say that the way that Smash is looked at, especially because it's Nintendo, and because of just how the community is, they're not going to die out because of that. I mean, look at what you just said. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
but
we're going to
Nintendo
leave
doesn't
esports.
support it.
I mean, okay, then look at how you said it though. That that community is going to be like, well, maybe we're going to leave esports and do grassroots. They're still going to be doing it. It's still a big game. The community is still like those.
I don't mean that though.
numbers
I'm talking about
Yeah.
seeing like, you know, Smash players representing your TSMs, your SKTs, your you know, FaZe clans,
because those
etc.
players were on like, some of the biggest teams, and like
Yeah, I mean,
I
you
don't
had
know the
Nairo
extent
and
of
NRG.
So like how I don't know. Somebody was saying it was on CNN at one point, but like I don't know. I never saw a clip.
I didn't see
Or
it.
like
I
if
didn't
it was
see
really
it
ever
either.
covered in the mainstream media, but I could definitely see esports organizations being like, this could be a risk where people are like,
I
it's
would-
community, you know,
Yeah,
that you
I would
shouldn't
argue
be
that
involving
it-
yourselves in. And I feel like the giant organizations, I feel like they're going to be as risk averse as possible, right? Or like, I don't know.
so
Yeah, I mean,
I
it
would.
reflects on you as an organization. When you have somebody who's involved with that, that directly reflects on your organization.
So I
That's
would
what I'm
argue
thinking about
that
and worried about for Evo too.
for
honestly,
from the
same way.
organization standpoint, the organization is at fault because they didn't take care. They didn't check on their players. They weren't like, not that the player would even talk to them, because the player could. People are still going to hide shit when they want to hide shit. That's just fact.
Yeah.
They're gonna know how to hide it. They're
Always.
gonna hide it. But and this is based off stuff that I've been told from people like bigger organizations. Dylan, you've said this too. A lot of big organizations it's just a business agreement. They don't fucking meet the players. They don't talk to the fucking players anymore. After they sign them, that's fucking it. It's even a rare case that you even see the higher up in an organization from the player standpoint, which to me is fucking dumbfounded. Like, I'm dumbfounded by that. I get size that you don't have time for it, but if I'm bringing somebody into my house, I fucking know who they are. And then from the esports or from the player standpoint, from their community, I don't think Smash is going to lose esports. Again, I just think they're learning how to navigate this situation for the first time. And their
And
kids,
I really do see big orgs staying away from Smash right now.
maybe for
For
now.
the time
I mean,
being, unless like until they show significant change, like probably structure, like how we
Yeah.
were talking the last podcast, like
Yeah.
events.
the hard part is that the
Exactly.
Smash
To change the culture. I mean, people are working on it right now. Just change the culture.
I mean,
to have
and
more
like
safety
this,
as an emphasis, and to have people be held accountable, things like that.
this isn't the
Yeah.
first time Smash loses something because of the shit from Evo 2018. Smash lost the whole thing with Disney.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but they were still
remember
around. Like, what are you
Yeah.
getting at?
But they've lost. But yeah, they're still around. But like Disney stopped supporting it. Like Disney backed away from it because I mean, like that wasn't bad on an organizational standpoint, but it was bad on like Disney Aeronet standpoint. But like now, it's things that are directly bad on an organization standpoint. You know, one of the things I think that kind of messed up the Disney thing was the making out on stream during top 8 or whatever, and
that's what you're referring
that
to. Okay.
aired on fucking Disney. So like that was enough for Disney to be like, okay, we can't have this. Well, now when you have fucking players representing your brand directly, definitely for the orgs that how some orgs their Smash players are their face of the org. Your face of the org is now sleeping with or trying to sleep with underage children. Now that affects you. So
Yeah.
now you are concerned about that and like, do I need to step away from this?
So
I mean,
that
okay, go ahead.
Okay. This goes to every scene because we've seen it in every scene. We've seen it in OWL, Counter-Strike, Call of Duty. We've seen some either sexuality or something sexual, something illegal. Like, it's all something illegal. But this goes back to, you said it just now, Dylan, of these players are representing an organization. They're representing something. how many players who are not at the higher level or older really understand what that means? That you you guys here on Crescent understand that very well because we talked to you about it, specifically talked to you about it. Not let alone that you guys already have that knowledge, and some of you, like Curtis, you already know that level of respect and understand, hey, I know what's expected of me. But we also talk about it to you directly. How many players really understand that level of my actions affect this organization, my actions do this, do that? Because in using the Smash community, from what I've seen, just using like the I don't remember who the players were, but it was the two Bayonettas just holding B at the fucking grand finals. It was the kissing on stream for Disney. Like, there is a level of, okay, like I want to do what I want, and I want to be proud of my players, and I want to do that. But at the same time, you have to think about the consequences that come with it. And I think that's where players don't understand, or at least individuals. I won't just say players, but I think that's where individuals in the esports industry, especially because it's brand new, don't understand that their level of consequences that happen there can be very big, and these are the biggest ones coming out now. And I'm sure that there are going to be continuously bigger ones, little by little by little by little, to a point where we're going to finally understand how to deal with it properly. And then finally, they're going to understand, like, okay, this is what it means to be a signed player. Because Dylan, you and I have this conversation all the time. A lot of people that you worked with, a lot of players you worked with, ask for such ridiculous shit because they're like, oh, well, I do this and I do that and all that fucking shit. And it's like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. And then when you wear the jersey, you are wearing something. You are representing something, and your actions do fall upon that. If you have a respect for what you're wearing and who you're representing, great. Everyone's done their job. If you don't, here's where we get here. Now we're here at these situations.
And now that we're here, it will be dealt with and carry on. In any sort of entertainment you can look at, whenever it wasn't big money dollar, there was shit going on. I don't even have to dive into it, and you can use your own mind. You know what I'm saying. Anything that was being built, any entertainment industry, had some shit going on. And it didn't stop it to continue from growing, right? You know what I'm saying? And then the professionalism, and with the money comes ways to, there's ways to protect I would say, the player, the artist, the whoever, right? There's ways to protect them, keep the information from getting out. And then there's also PRs to deal with these things whenever they happen. All right. And so to say, are they donezo? No, it's going to carry on. And hopefully they get to new heights, because these are people doing these things. Yeah, it does fall in organizations, but it also doesn't mean you can't invest in it and be looked at like a regular fucking organization. You know what I'm saying? I think you're still good to go if you pick up a Smash player and you move forward.
Yeah, you just got to be more.
Once they get these,
careful about who to pick up, though.
Yeah, once you get these bad weeds out of there, all right, there's still gonna be some bad weeds in there. But guess what? People are still gonna do. They're still gonna fucking sign people, and they're still gonna play. And then maybe 5 years from now, we'll find out some more shit. But it doesn't stop movement.
Mm-hmm.
Slow it down, but stop it? No.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate to have like these few like horribly rotten apples, like rotten the whole bunch, or whatever the saying is, right? But because at the end of the day, there's so many positive stories that you could find that you could amplify as well, like in the Smash community. But there's a lot of people that I know that are like, that I know personally that are like, I'm super glad that I was a part of this when I was young, when I was a teenager, and nothing ever happened to me, and like I'm thankful for that. And like I'm lucky, like they're like people, because you see so many of the stories, you're like, holy shit, maybe I was lucky that nothing bad happened to me. But it's like there's so many other stories where like this is the space that these people made so many great friends, lifelong friends. This is where they learned how to focus on a skill and hone it to like an expertise, and to like really concentrate on one thing and learn how to be good at something and all that. And
but
just
you want to know what stands out
and stuff. And there's so many like positive stories that are transformative, and like in the space these people got to be who they were, and really form themselves as a person for the future. And it's a shame to hear all of these stories and like have that have such a dark shadow on everything. It's like I don't think
Beautifully
that's
put,
necessarily
DJ.
the whole. I don't think there's no way that that's the whole narrative. But I mean, I can see when you're like from a economic or whatever like organization perspective. Oh God, there might be some risk in here because other people just from far back away.
This is when the stocks are down.
Yeah.
This is when the stocks are down. You're not going to put in right
but it doesn't
now,
tell the
and it's
whole
going to go
story.
up, and then you'll
Yeah.
get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
What were you
So
gonna say, Dylan?
this is a factor I've noticed that kind of stands out to me. All these cases in Smash, they said there's like 50 confirmed cases. Think on this for a second. How many of those are in Melee?
There have been some, but yeah, the ones that have been the worst have been from the Ultimate community.
And like it can keep in mind like the Melee community and the Ultimate, you might that's like two separate worlds, like
Yeah.
90% of it, the Melee community aren't involved in Ultimate, the Ultimate community aren't involved in Melee, and you're not seeing nearly as much of this shit in Melee, which is the older generation of it, than what you're seeing in Ultimate and all that. Oh my god, dude, do y'all see this shit?
We're trying to have a serious discussion here.
Jesus Christ, dude. God, the little destroyer himself, man.
That's awesome.
But you know what, guys? We're approaching that 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
So I know everybody's getting tired. This is not exactly the line that we planned on happening, but like we said, we went into this with like a general idea of what we wanted to talk about. But oh damn, Chance literally
tune in.
Come earlier, Chance.
2 hours, bro.
We've been at this for a minute.
Look, we're gonna message you next time right before we go live.
Yeah,
but
I put it in
or just look at the Twitter. Yeah.
We're gonna text you next Sunday, Chance. But we had kind of like an idea of how to go. We did say at the same time it was kind of just going to be freestyling it, and it was way more freestyle than we thought it was going to be. But overall, like I think we talked about a lot of informative shit, to be honest, or at least for us. Maybe it might not have been for everybody, but I appreciate everybody who came in. We all do. Thank y'all for tuning in.
And if you like this sort of content where you talk about real issues, but also through the lens of like esports and gaming in general, tune in on Sundays.
I do want to end it on just one large hot take then.
What you got?
You don't know yourself, so go learn about yourself so you can be a better person.
Boy, if y'all talk to him.
Be open.
Come on now.
Be open-minded, not about just yourself, but other people, and yeah, just never think that you have the answers. I guess
build that initial personal layer, and then add on to everything.
And be there for other people. Your friends around you, you probably have no idea how much they need you. Always think about the people you care about and be there for them. You check in with them. You never know when they don't want to speak up, but they have a lot going on and could really need you.
Make time for others and make time for yourself.
Chicken bacon and turkey club sandwich.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Say goodnight, fat
good people. But yeah, all right, y'all. Peace out. That's going to be it for tonight. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.
Like, follow, and subscribe.
Good night, Jen.